So we should have a start.
Yes.
Let's count to 3 and start.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, yes, it's true. People who work in libraries are insane. But no, we're not actually. We're just creative people.
Yeah.
And you are especially one of the more creative librarians. I have the pleasure to work with you, crafts. So we are trying to build a tree here, right? And we have this to start with. We don't put that right in front of us. This is what tomatoes grow, and only when you put it in the garden, you put it like this. And these, you can tell they still got dirt on them, go in the ground, and the tomato grows up it. But for a tree, doesn't that make the perfect base?
That does.
So our idea was to cut plastic mosaic type pieces and use them to build the sides of these so that we had a mosaic tree with transparent color. Ooh, can you imagine putting lights inside of it?
Ooh, that'd be so cool.
Ooh, and you could. It's hollow.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless, and we keep discovering them as we go along. That's the cool part about this. So I made 2 templates that we are going to start working with. And this is a template for the bottom tier. Now, because this was made in an industrial factory, they made sure that these were all the same size, these 3 segments of open space at the bottom. So we can use this as a template for all 3 sides. So we have some thinking to do now. Because I discovered upon butchering a gallon jug that you get pieces out of it. And this is fascinating because when I was cutting apart these gallon jugs, did you read Little House on the Prairie?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. And remember when they, in the first one, when they were slaughtering, the Little House in the Woods, when they were slaughtering the pig, right? And they used every part of the pig. And I was fascinated by that when I was a little girl. So cutting apart these bottles was like slaughtering a pig. There were different parts to it.
Yeah.
And then where's that cool alien part that we found? There were 3 of them in there, so there's going to be... There it is. This was left after everything else was cut away. And we just both thought this was so cool. It looks like an alien owl. It does. Look at this in front of my face. What do you think?
You look like an alien.
Oh, can you imagine if you drew eyes like that?
That'd be so cool.
Oh, I have markers in my suitcase, by the way. So, yeah, so I slaughtered the bottles, and we got different parts from it. So we are going to be limited by the size of the parts that we can get. So let's dump these all out, just so we have access to them. This is the parts from 3. And I discovered this is basically the largest pattern that you can get out of this. So looking at this, how many of these are we going to need to fit across? Well, we're going to need 4, and we're going to have to cut them down and fit other little pieces, right? So I think we should start by cutting this out and then cutting the pieces out of it that we want to make these match.
Okay.
And, oh, do we have a ruler and a pencil? I know Miss Carla has a ruler because she has everything. So, how far across is that, Miss Carla?
We follow. Do you want to go straight across or follow the curve?
You know what? Let's go across like this. Oh, it's 12.
12 inches.
It's 12 inches perfectly. So if we divide that by 4, because we know 3 aren't going to be quite big enough, we need 4 equidistant pieces. Now the top, though, is narrower. So we're going to have to cut these slightly. And I think it's a real good idea to measure this out and then cut the pieces. And then we can make 2 templates. So you got one and I've got one. So you know what I'm going to do first, though, before we cut this thing up, I'm going to cut this, and we're going to trace. Oh, good idea. Yeah, these are good for. By the way, if you're cutting bottles, this is a tip. The big scissors, it's more difficult to cut bottles with them. When you have little scissors, there's always these curves you have to go around. The little scissors are a lot easier to use. And one of the hardest things to use when you're cutting apart those bottles is craft knives.
Yeah.
They won't stay straight no matter what you do with them. So you keep like getting all these dips and curves, and it's really easy to cut yourself.
And if you are using a craft knife or box cutter or anything that you happen to have, make sure you're always cutting away from yourself.
Oh, that is super important.
Push, don't pull, and do not ever hold it over your lap while you're cutting.
Ever.
Your legs are not a cutting board.
They shouldn't be.
It will hurt.
Yes, because the knife will not be stopped by your legs. It will go right through them. How is your cat, Carla?
Oh, she's pretty good.
Yeah? Is she freaked out by, like, the pandemic? Because, you know, I do an advice column with a psychiatrist for Motif, and he had patients coming in saying their pets had freaked out since the pandemic. And do you know why? It's because the pets are used to being alone and hanging out all day. So suddenly, mommy or daddy are in their face all day. And they're like, what the heck? Where's my alone time, you know?
I think it's the opposite for Charlie. She loved having me around all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Now she's sad that I'm going away again.
Oh. Too bad you can't take her in here.
Oh, I've actually had many dreams about taking my cats to the library, but even in the dreams it doesn't go well, so.
I'll let you trace that one. You know, my sister worked in New York City. She's retired now, but towards the end of her career, she said that in New York City, there were places, oh, here's the pencils. There were a lot of offices that allowed people to bring their pets in. And she said that in the offices where people could bring their pets, everybody worked better and was happier.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
And she was happy to go into work every day. My sister's a very crabby person, by the way. She's not a real people person. But she said she was happy to go to work every day because she got to say hello to 3 doggies on the way.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, they have, you know, cat cafes and cats in stores.
Yep. She goes past the cat cafe every day.
My cats in particular are not well suited for that kind of thing because they want attention all the time and they're loud.
Oh, really?
And they're always meowing for attention.
Are they part Siamese?
Not that I know of. But they're also rambunctious and they chase each other around. And Oliver, the male cat, he always eats things, plastic and paper.
Oh no, and throws up?
Sometimes it goes all the way through.
Oh no.
You find bright bits of colored plastic in the litter box.
Exciting surprises in the cat's waste, yes. That is funny. How many cats do you have?
I have 3 altogether.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 males and 1 female.
I assume they're all fixed.
Yes, they are.
Very sensible of you, Carla.
Thank you.
Alrighty, so let's cut that out. Now, while you are doing that, I am going to measure this using one of our pencils. And I'm going to see how wide this is at the top. So it's almost 10 inches. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, from here, find the center. Just 5 inches. So 10. 10 doesn't really divide by 4, does it? So it's 2.5. So at the 2.5 mark, by the way, math is not my strong suit. My sister is one of those, like, math geniuses that you hear about who can add numbers in her head without writing them down. And I have no math ability whatsoever.
I like math. Sometimes I can do it pretty well in my head.
Can you? So you must have a little bit of that math genius in you.
I guess so.
Gosh, I wish I did. Let's see, so 12 divided by 4 is 3, so we want to go. The bottom divides nicely. So when we, like, draw a line from the top to the bottom, we get these not quite rectangle shapes. Like, when it's like not quite on the line, instead of trying to figure out what the insane measurements would be, what I always do is I go in between.
Oh.
And then I measure it as if it was normal. And you'll get like a little more or less on the ends, but it's way better than if you try to figure it out other ways. So halfway is 4 1/4 right here. Okay, so let's see where the half experience is. If you're doing mosaics, you don't want to lose track, and this is going to be U1, upper 1, upper 2, upper 3, and upper 4. And this way we know to match.
Makes sense.
Yep. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these. Also keep in mind, this is working out so beautifully on paper, right? But when we go to apply this to the thing in real life, nothing ever fits perfectly. I've had a lot of experience of putting together large-scale objects made of many smaller objects.
That's good.
Well, you know that giant flag I did had 326 pieces in it. And the worst part was the star field, because each star had to be individually cut, and it was almost impossible to get them matched from square to square. I won't even begin to tell you what the nightmare was with that. Don't forget to number each of those as you Alright, so you have 1, here's 2. And Carla is intelligently making those little marks on the side too, so she knows where that middle horizontal is. I love working with Carla. You know, if I was working with somebody else, I'd probably have to tell her everything. Go, oh no, wait, Carla, you did that wrong. Now you got to do it over. She does it right the first time.
Thank you.
So our next task is going to be cutting pieces this size out of the, oh look, we can just get it. That is perfect. I would recommend using markers to draw these. Since we have templates, we don't have to worry, oh, I destroyed the piece. You can just make a new one. Make one the exact same size. We want to take this off. And actually, I would put it on the towel first. Yep, that's what I always did. Just,
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Nice. Disappear like magic.
Yes, but water wouldn't do that.
No.
So the rain isn't going to have the same effect. Okay, so there's 4. Now I know they're going to be coloring on the back. I just realized that. So we want this to go on the front.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, so this is the interesting thing about art. It's like you're halfway through solving a problem and you realize, oh, I'm solving the wrong problem. That's why I tell people that learning how to do art, the value of it has so much less to do with your end product than with the process.
Yeah.
Because artists are really good at solving problems that there are apparently no solutions to. You've heard the saying, I'm sure, when the going gets weird, the weird turn pro.
I have not heard that.
That's Hunter Thompson.
That's awesome.
And yeah, so we can put the number on the front here.
But also help them know which side to color on.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Instead of putting the number on here, we put it on the tape.
Yeah.
Duh, we are solving all these problems. So I can take this off right now, right? Yeah. And we don't have to worry about doing it later. Now look at all these innovations we've made just since we started this project. I'm impressed with us, Carla.
Yeah, me too.
Look at this. Try making these little holes. Look, perfect size.
Beautiful, yeah.
So quite honestly, I think we only need to use hot glue to stabilize things.
Okay.
And I think that we can probably string this whole thing together using wires and plastic.
So it's more like stitched together with the wire and stuff.
Yeah, it's like we're making a plastic quilt.
That's so cool.
It is. Now, now.
And let me tell you, if you want to come to the library but you don't have a mask, you can come anyway because we have masks to hand out when you come to the door.
Yes, I love that about you guys, because you know what? Even my doctor's office will not hand them out anymore.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, they don't have enough for themselves. This is the problem.
If you have your own mask, it'd be better to wear your own, especially if it's a reusable one.
Yes.
But we do have disposable ones to hand out that you can use for the day.
Because you guys rock. Yes.
Oh, okay. This takes so much thinking and planning.
Doesn't it? It's kind of amazing. And when we're done with this, what is so amazing is, like, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
And people who look at it are going to have no sense of what we went through doing it and how many considerations we had to make.
It just magically appeared.
It just magically
definitely
appeared.
encountered that when we were planning, designing, and implementing the mural outside.
Oh, that.
There were so many steps from brainstorming, and then once we decided what we wanted to do, we had to figure out how to do it and who was going to do it and where we were going to get the materials.
I know, it's just so complicated.
But we had help from a lot of people, so that made it go pretty well.
I'll bet. Yeah, that's...
So I want to make sure of the numbers. So here's 3 ones, and here's 4. I thought we had more ones. Yeah, so we got 4 twos, and I just swear we had one of these that had a concave knot in it. But I have lost track of them. Wait, these are 3s. I could have sworn we had 5 ones. I thought we had 5 ones. Yeah, we did. Oh, here's a 2. Maybe we had 5 twos. There's another 2. I mean, how many of those do we have? Alright, we have 5 twos. Okay, and right now we have 3 ones. Oh, so I don't need any more 2s. Yeah, I need a 1. Alright, I need 2 ones. 2 ones. I'm going to fix that in my...
We are so impressive. It's incredible.
Oh, I just wrote a 3 on the tape, even though that was a 4.
That's okay, it comes off.
It's true.
The tape comes off very easily. The interesting thing about these collaborative projects is if you work with lots of people to do a project, like I work with over 300 people to do each giant flag, but if I'd done each of those flags myself, I would still be working on them next year, you know? And if you get everybody putting their energy in one place, you can do these huge things that would never be possible for one person, unless they were the guy who did the Watts Tower.
Right, and he did years. It took him years to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. I say as somebody who has had stitches approximately 9 times in my hands, and I cut off the tip of 2 of my fingers. Yes, not on purpose. By the way, you see this table. Every artist, when they're working in their studio, unless they're a graphic designer, because graphic designers are eternally tidy no matter what they're going through or the deadline, if you're an artist, by the time you're done with the deadline project, the state of your home studio would make a good housekeeper weep. It would just make them weep because you throw stuff all over, you lose track, but it's fun. Carla, you got to be at least like 40 years younger than me. I'm serious.
Probably not quite 40.
Yeah, well, at least 30, I'll tell you that.
That's maybe.
Yep, I'm hitting a scary number later this month.
Oh, wow.
Yes, folks, I'm gonna be 67. Doesn't that seem unreal? 67. When I was like a teenager or like, you know, preteen, 67 seemed like the ancient mariner. Or like to quote Lindsay, what's her name from Freaky Friday? It's like, oh my God, I'm the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
See, I just traced around this and then set the thing down without realizing which one it was. Okay, yay, it's 2. All right, I'm gonna mark this as a 2 right now before I forget. Brain. While my brain is still working. One never knows when it's going to suddenly turn off. That's cool. And I have to say one thing I am so encouraged about with our state is people are so much more compliant here about wearing masks. And it's one of the reasons that we, at a certain point, we were one of only 2 states that was like keeping the curve down. So, way to go, Gina Raimondo.
Good job, Rhode Islanders.
Yeah, good job, Rhode Islanders, man, because not everybody has been as good about this as we are.
So, I had to ride the bus an hour each way.
Oh,
School.
really?
All the way from kindergarten to, well, my senior year, I think I drove a little bit. You know.
Oh my good, where did you live? A farm?
Well, I lived near farms. I lived out in the country, and driving straight to school only took about 15 or 20 minutes. But with all the stops and going down all the little curvy roads,
Oh,
it took
yeah.
about an hour.
Good Lord.
So I usually napped in the
Oh,
morning and in the afternoon.
that would make sense.
And then people would yell my name when it was my turn to get off the bus.
You know what? We should have a little box to put these in because we've got plastic all over.
I'll find.
And yes, I've already visually lost track of everything we've done so far. I'm going to experiment making holes in this. Oh, it works beautifully. Oh, this is the perfect size hole too. I can't wait till Carla comes back so I can show her this. She'll get so excited. That actually may work better than the... Ooh, if we had little wires. I'm talking to myself here.